Welcome to A Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach with Mark Gellard and Candy Reid, sponsored by the ERT 300. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach. And I'm delighted to say that we have Nick Horvat, who led Donna Vekic to such an amazing 2024, on the line with us. I think you're live from Croatia. Is that correct, Nick?
That's correct. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Well,
Thank you for having me.
It's absolutely brilliant to have you. I'm absolutely delighted because, of course, Donna had just the most remarkable 2024, and we will talk about that very shortly. You've coached so many fantastic players. But I'd like to start with something that Patricia Tarabini, a former guest of ours, told me on the podcast recently. She's been coaching Anna Kalinskaya for a while now, and Kalinskaya has had a breakout year in 2024, reaching the quarterfinals of this year's Australian Open, getting to career high of number 11. And Patricia was a former very good player herself, turned coach. She turned as Conchita Martinez's coach to begin with, then Anna Kalinskaya, and received some important coaching advice from one Andre Agassi, winner of so many major titles, of course, himself. And he said, the thing about coaching is you need to get your player to watch the ball and move their feet. So I'd love to start off with your coaching philosophy, if that's okay.
That's very okay. And I love Patricia. She's really good. We are, let's say, almost friends. She's doing a great job. About coaching philosophy, there's always let's say, not a tricky, but it's a tough question because, us coaches, we always think a lot of things are important for a successful tennis player. So it's tough to put something in very short, but I will try. So whenever I'm thinking about my philosophy, I'm starting with a quote which says, everything that is happening at this moment is the result of the choices we've made in the past. And this is the quote from Dr. Deepak Chopra, and this is my favorite quote in the world, because this says a lot about actually my character and in a way of my coaching philosophy. I'm going to share one story with you. It's a true story. It had happened many years ago. Actually, in 2016, I was coaching Donna for the first time. And she was really struggling with her game. She was maybe like 80 or 90 in the world, trying to go back to the top, not to the top, but like she was already much higher ranked. And then we decided to play some lower ranked tournaments to get her confidence back. So we went to Egypt, all the way to Egypt. And it was really tough because the conditions, first of all, it was as hot as I ever felt somewhere. It was windy, like this fan wind, hot wind. There was no crowd in the stands, and she was facing, the opponents that wanted to beat her, like weaker opponents. But, this is really, those kind of situations are really challenging for a player. You need to put yourself out there against kind of weaker opponents that actually play amazing tennis. So she was, she was great. She was really, it was not easy for her, but she found a way to the final somehow. To make a story a little bit shorter, I think 2 matches were played in 3 sets. And then on the final day, everything went a little bit better, actually much better. The weather, like the match was scheduled a little bit later in the afternoon, so the sun was not there so much. Even the crowd came, the television was filming, so she was more into her, her environment. And she started great. She played amazing tennis, and she was 6-1, 6-2, and 5-1 up. I remember as yesterday. And normally I never relax before the handshake, but this time I was like, okay, this, she's so good. She got this. It's finished. And to make, again, a story shorter, she did win that match, but after another 2.5 hours of probably the toughest battle on the tennis court I've ever seen. And this was actually the moment when I realized what is Donna really made of inside of her, and how much, how much a warrior she is. And after that, she proved to me this many times again. And back to my point, so I went to my room after that match. I was really tired, and I was reading my messages, and there was many like congratulations, this and that, classic. But then one message from my best friend was different, and he said, guys, into my group chat, like he said, guys, relax, This match was not won today. This match was won a long time ago with the dedication and hard work that started actually a long time ago. And that was really powerful to me when I read it, and I thought about it, and it actually inspired me to text Donna that same evening. And I said like this, I said, congratulations, I'm proud of you, you were fantastic today, but let me tell you something a little bit surprising maybe to you. And I said, you did not win this match today. You won that match on the practice court where you showed up for the last 3 months every day without complaining, which she really did. That match was won on her previous matches when she was struggling, and there were many of them struggling, but she kept fighting. I remember very well. That match was also won in the gym or in the track and field where I was there always with her, and I saw her pain, but she never quit. She wanted to do one more lap. That match was also won in the restaurant. Which is interesting, but like, I'm ordering every time pasta or whatever, even ice cream, and she ordered fish and salad and something that she knows she needs the right fuel for tomorrow. That match was also won in her, in front of her MacBook, where she turns off her favorite show at 9 p.m. because she knows she needs at least 9 hours, especially her 9 hours of sleep to be ready for the next day. That match was also, if we go into a wider picture, that match was also won on her iPhone Messenger, where she texted back to her grandmother or to people that care about her, thank you, because they are watching her matches no matter the time zone every time. You need to appreciate those people. This match was won also in tough moments when she could easily break the racket and leave or tank. But she looked at me and she kept fighting. This is when this match was won. And this going back to what I said, the quote before, that everything that is happening at this moment is the result of the choices we've made in the past. And that's so powerful to me. And I'm going to quote myself here. And this is that every tennis match is won or lost long before it even started. This is my coaching philosophy, and you can even trick the system and win a match for one match, even if you didn't do the right choices. Sometimes it happens. Even for a tournament, you can maybe win it. But if you didn't do the right things months and even years before, eventually you're going to fail, and it's not going to work. So when I work with players, I'm trying to use this kind of stories, true stories, and talking and spending time with them to explain how important those choices are to be ready for success or to be ready to perform at your best. Because I'm just going to continue. I'm sorry if I talk too much, but like tennis is simple. When you think about things that I just said, what Donna had to do, this is simple. This is not a rocket science. I'm not insulting anything. I mean, it's a science and we are thinking and we can go deep, but actually we're talking about basic things here. Everything comes back to those basic things. Tennis is simple, but hard.
Yeah.
So, and this hard part is what we should talk about more. How can I, as a coach, help Donna to do the hard part a little bit easier? How can I help her to do those choices, to make those choices actually for longer period of time? That's the hardest thing. There are many ways to roam. Many ways to roam. We can choose this method or that method. Everything works. Every method works. It's not about that. It's about, can you keep up with this method for long periods of time? This is where coaching has to be talked about and spend time with and put your energy in. Sorry for the long answer, but
I think that's a fantastic answer, Nick. And no, it was long, but it was really, really good quality, because I think everybody listening can take something from that, no matter what they do, where they are in life. But it's all about the choices essentially we make. And one of the most favorite questions I have, and I like to ask everybody I meet, is, particularly if they've been successful, is what separates the really, really great people from the next level? And I think it's exactly what you've just said. It's those little details, isn't it? I remember one year, and I think it was 2011, when Novak Djokovic pretty much won everything. And he was asked how he did it and how he celebrated. And he said, well, I celebrated with half a piece of chocolate. That's all I had the entire year. He had a small piece of chocolate, and just the discipline that takes. But that is why he is the best that ever lived on the men's side of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, very good example. And Novak Djokovic is the example of this philosophy, because, his dedication, his energy, even when he was winning so much, he can do even more. And he's taking care of all the details around him, sometimes even getting, a little bit even crazy about it, but that's what he is, and that's who he is. So it's a great example, Candy. Great.
Yeah. And there was another one, actually. I got to interview Yannick Sinner for the first time in Beijing, and we were talking about the service changes he'd made. And he'd just won the US Open and had a phenomenal year already. He'd won 2 major titles. And he was sitting down, essentially the tournament after winning the US Open, his second major, telling me all about the changes he'd made to his game. And I was blown away. But the champions make those constant adjustments, don't they? Is there another instance where that's come with you? We've got a little banner below you saying the players you've coached: Vekic, Mario Ancic, Borna Coric, Tomeo Babos, and of course Magda Linette, who Mark is currently working with now. Can you think of another story like that, of somebody who's just sort of surprised you perhaps by making those decisions, the hard decision, perhaps in the short term, but the right decision in the long term?
I mean, regarding the what you said about Yannick changing the technique when he was already on the top. I think it's so important to get that mindset that let's say have the courage to make those changes even if you're on the top, because sometimes I feel at the younger players, or even any player, can be into a safe mode of not changing, not going into changes, not willing to do any changes in the game, because you can lose something or this and that. But I think there are many examples. I think Novak Djokovic 2009 it started, and 2010 he did a change in the service game, in his service motion, that changes his. I think it was the most important change, a part of his lifestyle, what brought him to the top. But he was number 3 in the world at that moment, and he did probably the biggest technical change I've ever seen in a serve, or the most complex technical movement in the world of sports, like tennis serve. I've never seen something like that, and he did it. I think the Todd Martin initiated when he was coaching him, and then I think I don't know how it went, but he did that change. I have the pictures. I'm always showing it in my presentations. It's amazing, and Alcaraz did it last year. I filmed
Yes.
him personally in Beijing last year, 2023, and I filmed him again in Cincinnati. This service is probably second biggest. I think bigger than Sinner. Second biggest change that he did in the service. So, and it works. He didn't have pain anymore in the elbow, and it really, it works. So it's possible to do it. I think all the best athletes, they are seeking for perfection. They are willing to go into unknown. They trust the process, even if it's a little bit risky. And I think it's a signature of Michael Phelps did it. Many people. Tiger Woods did change when he was the best golfer in the world. So it's a great thing to talk about, and great example to young players.
Yeah, those are some fascinating examples. Now, let's talk about you and Donna Vekic, because in my mind anyway, this was the best year of her career. 32 wins compared to 20 defeats. Reached the semi-finals of Wimbledon, the final of the Olympics in her next tournament in Paris. Would you put 2024 down as the best one that you've had together, or is there another year that you think's pipped this one?
No, I mean, this is by far. I mean, I would be no. This is by far the best year. It's it's actually a dream. I was since I was very young. I was watching on TV with my mom, especially all those successes of other people, and I love to watch tennis. Even today, my mom watches everything. We were waking up for Australian Open in the middle of the night. We were waking up for US Open, watching everything on TV, and then I was sitting in that Wimbledon box before the semifinal, and I really remember the feeling. I was telling myself before, I was super nervous. I even told to Donna before the match, maybe I really can't help you today because I'm trying to help myself. And in a way, I was 100% honest, but in a way, I knew that will help her because I felt the tension in everyone in the team, and I wanted to show my vulnerability to her,
yeah,
and expose myself. That I said, really, I can't tell you anything that will, help you right now to be more calm because I'm working on myself. I'm shaking myself. So that's a little bit, actually that's a sideline from your question, but it's interesting to say. I remember exactly those moments before Wimbledon semifinal. That was in the gym before the match, like 5 minutes before, and I saw it in her eyes that it helped her. She was like, "Okay, I'm going to do it." And she came out on the court. She played like almost set and a half without mistake. So actually, my pep talk was good, even though there wasn't a pep talk. But coming back to the question, sitting in that player's box before she was warming up for this semifinal, I embraced the moment, and I remember actually some of my friends that also deserve to be there with their knowledge of tennis, with their effort in tennis, but they were not maybe lucky enough. And I really wish for them that one day they will be, because the feeling is amazing. And it was like a dream. I finally, you find yourself in a Wimbledon center court, watching Donna fighting in one point, maybe making the finals. And I was always dreaming about this kind of moments as a coach and as a player. Also, I was a player before, and all of a sudden you are there in the middle of it. It's just an unforgettable feeling, and it fulfills my heart, really. Yeah.
Giving what you said there about you exposing your vulnerability brings me back to a quote that Brian Shelton talked about in a previous Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach. He said he was obviously a very good player, top 60.
Yeah.
And I think Mark Gellard asked him if he talked about his playing experiences with his players. And obviously he's coaching his son, Ben, but he's around the US players a lot. And he said, actually, the thing that resonates mostly with the people I work with, both at the professional and college level, is my defeats. Not too many people understand outside tennis when you've lost 7 in a row, but I know that feeling because I've done it. And that's when he says he gets most of the people he coaches to actually listen and take note when the vulnerabilities, the mistakes, the things he's messed up, the nuances actually come through, because he's been there, he's done that. And rather than saying, look how good I was, actually saying about his failures resonates more with the players he works with. And that's, I think, what you were trying to say there, and very eloquently as well, that by exposing your vulnerabilities and showing that you didn't actually know how to handle it, Vekic was understanding and said, well, I'm in this position for the first time, and it's nice that I'm not the only one feeling these horrible butterflies.
Exactly. That's you said everything. What I want to just confirm, it's exactly that, and I didn't plan it. I was just, being myself at that moment, and many times being yourself actually pays off, because, perfection this, perfection there. We're living in perfectionist world, and trying to be everything, perfect and make everything perfect, especially tennis players that are dealing with really high levels of stress and expectations and pressure. I think sometimes just being normal and just being yourself, talking about your weaknesses with them, it's in a way a strength, because if someone cannot express their weaknesses, something is wrong. Maybe he doesn't have enough. I have no problem exposing my weaknesses. I'm actually in the round table. I'm always trying to say things that I'm not good at, not only where I'm good at. So, it's not about me wanting to people like me because of saying that. It's just about, I think it helps people to understand that not only perfect things are running the world, but just being, normal and making mistakes and learning from the mistakes. It's important.
It's fascinating, Nick. We're speaking with Nick Horvat, coach of Donna Vekic, and we do have, of course, some information to reveal to the world, Nick, that you're no longer working with Donna, not because anything has happened, quite the contrary. As we've talked about, you've just had a sensational 2024, but you as a family have some big news. Perhaps you can reveal to the world what that is.
Well, thank you. Yes. It's been a two full years with Donna, and it's been a long journey. And now I'm a family man, and I have one boy. His name is Leo. He's 3.5 years old, and actually in these 2 years, of course, he let's say I sacrificed the time with him to do my job with Donna and to chase my dreams. And I tried to brought him to tournaments with me sometimes, which I did. It was great. And then now my wife is, we are expecting twins very soon. And, regarding that, I need to organize my time at home. I need to, I want to, see my twins be born and spend time with them. So it's, and for Donna, I understood in front that it's not gonna be able to work because she needs someone now full time to help her get even higher level that she is right now, because now it's her moment. And she really plays great tennis. I really believe she can go even higher. Even though this year the results were so high that sometimes I think if I told her also to Donna, if we want to go even higher than that, maybe it's too much to ask from the universe. But I really believe she really plays really good tennis. Even in Asian swing now, she was playing good. She was a little bit unlucky.
Yeah.
So she's in a moment where she can step up with her game even more and make either the same or even better results. So if I cannot be with her as much as she needs, I should step away and give someone else a chance. So yeah, that's what happens.
That's very generous of you, Nick, because given what has happened in 2024, it would be easy for you to say, oh, let's just do one more year. The twins will grow up and, I'll see them when they're one. So I think you've personally made the right decision as a mother of two that sort of prolonged or stopped my career a bit to be at home a lot more. I think you're making the right decision. It's not an easy decision because of where you are. But what is your plan while your children are now growing up and you're off the tennis circuit?
Well, yes, it's not an easy decision because I told to Donna, when I will watch Australian Open now, sitting at home in my couch and winning, playing great tennis, of course I'm going to be super happy for you. But one part of me will be, I want to be there with you and experience this from the box. So it's gonna be a little bit tough for me, but the big picture is nice. I have my my family. I have my things that I want to do right now. And now I know Donna will be in a good hands. Pam will be there still, and I think the new coach will be introduced soon. Regarding me, I have many hobbies. First of all, I'm doing also another job. I have two jobs. I was coaching Donna as one job, and another job is I'm a scouting agent and also a coach for Yonex company, Japanese company, Yonex, that produces rackets. Everyone knows, obviously, in the tennis world. And so I'm doing scouting in junior tennis from all junior categories. So I'm kind of visiting all the best junior tournaments in the world every year and trying to select players to play with our racket Yeah, and then also I'm doing some training camps for Yonex around the world. So my other job will have more time now. I mean, I will dedicate more time to Yonex, obviously, but also I want to talk about a little bit about my, let's say, my hobby, but it's not anymore my hobby. I like to write. I'm a writer. I'm still not a publicly writer, but as soon as my book will be out, then I will become also a writer, which sounds really nice. But yeah, I like to write. I'm doing it for a long time. I had a blog before. I stopped it now because everything I have time now, I'm putting in my book, which is going to be finished in a couple of months. I think in the actually beginning of April should be done. I'm working on it already for like 5 years probably, and now I will have more time.
Okay.
I don't know if I will have more time because twins are coming, so I don't know if I will really have more time, but I will really try to do my best and finish. I called this book a project of my life. A part of coaching and doing this with Donna. This is like a dream, but my book is something. Okay, maybe like a second project of my life. A part of coaching is the book, because everything I know about tennis, everything I know about coaching, everything I know about achievement in general, which I'm really interested in achievement in life and how to achieve something great or how to be excellent in something. This is what I'm trying to put in a book. And I'm not even though I talk a lot now with you because you're really curious and you're a good listener, and I like your energy, but when there are a lot of people around me or around table or dinner table, I'm not a talker. I'm more quiet. So everything that is inside of me, I want to speak out, but many times I can't. With a player, you can't speak out a lot because they give you 1 minute a day or 2 minutes a day. I cannot speak about my philosophy of achievement because I'm going to be boring to them. So I figured many years ago that the only way to bring my thoughts out is through the channel of the book, to write it in the book. And then it's kind of a liberating feeling because I feel like I have so much inside of me that I have to put it out somewhere. And the way to do it is through the book. So that's why it's kind of a project of my life, because I'm putting everything out there, and I think it's going to be great.
I think it's going to be really good. So much so that my cat Marmalade has entered the fray, and you've probably seen him in the screen. You can maybe hear him purring. But I think he's very interested in this, and this is a huge passion of mine, Nick. You're hitting the right strings with the leadership, because I think all of us out there, I mean, there's so many great podcasts, aren't there? And I constantly listen to them because you're always looking for that little secret sauce. There's always something that somebody can tell you. And the amount of stories and the people that you've been around who are high performance, whatever, it's just fascinating, isn't it? And you want to sort of remember all those stories, and sometimes you forget. But by putting them down in a book, you've got them there forever. So I, for one, will be reading that. What's the title of your book going to be called?
I can't share the title at this moment. But
we'll update the podcast when you can.
Yeah, I will be very happy to talk about it anytime when the book is out.
Brilliant.
But what I can tell is, I'm trying to tell. I'm actually talking about psychology of achievement, as I said, and I'm trying to tell a story of how to achieve something great by using a platform of tennis. So it's a tennis book. So I'm using true stories from tennis that I experienced myself or heard it firsthand. I'm giving my expert opinion on what is this story trying to tell us, and I'm also using science. I have some colleagues on the university that I studied helping me with backing up my points with the data. So I'm kind of telling a story, giving my expert opinion, and then backing up with the data, and I go story by story.
Perfect.
trying to build up everything I want to say. And my aim is also not only, of course, first thing is I'm writing for myself and maybe for my son to read it one day if he wants to become, achieve something in his life, maybe it can help him. But also I obviously want this book to be read by people in tennis, which would be very, I would be very pleased to. But also, I think that book can pass the borders of tennis and be read by every other athlete because, psychology of achievement, even though if it's told on a platform of tennis, can be used for any other sport, even not only the sport, but in any other endeavor or activity in life. You can use this kind of book to help you achieve some excellence. I know there are many books about that in the world, but I think what is unique about this book could be because there are not many books in tennis that talk about this kind of broader picture of achievement. So I think it could be interesting.
Oh, I think it's going to be very interesting. As I said, I will certainly be buying that. And I presume you said Pam Shriver obviously is the other co-coach of Donna Vekic, more of a sort of consultant. I think you were the main coach. And you said that she's going to be working with a new coach. I presume you can't name him or her either. But is it a situation a little bit like, I'm a huge Liverpool football fan, and Liverpool have just beaten Real Madrid 2-0, I'm delighted to say. But I think Jurgen Klopp was very instrumental in choosing Arne Slot as the next Liverpool coach. Now, I don't know that for sure, but that's just an instinct because of what's happened and how seamlessly the team has transitioned. So have you had a hand in Donna's next coach?
I can be honest. I did. Yeah, I did. I think, it's a little bit pressure on me because if it doesn't work, it's on me. But we did have a discussion about it, and we are really, first of all, me and Donna are really good friends, and I think it's for sure it's gonna be that for a long time because anything she deals with in life, she always asks me, and that's also how we discussed her next coach. And I really think this person can make a difference. I believe in his work, and that's why I actually suggested him. And let's see how it goes. And I think just to maybe a note on a co-coaching experience, I really had a great experience with Pam. That was my only co-coaching experience, and I think it's a really good trend that many players have two coaches now, or let's say main coach and assistant coach or co-coach or a mentor, because just if you think about time demand from a coach that has to work with the player, it's really difficult. If you have a family, it's really difficult to spend 35 weeks with someone on the road. It's almost impossible. So then for the player, there is an option to choose someone younger that can really do that and then compromise little experience or maybe knowledge, whatever. Or you can have an experienced coach that has to be shared with someone because he cannot obviously travel for like 3/4 of the year. And I think players start to understand that. And that's why the trend is going more into the direction of sharing coaches, which is good. I think not only good for coaches, but I think it's also good for a player because to make it simple, I think what I can say or help in 20 weeks, I think it's the same or even better that I can say or help in 40 weeks. There is no need for so much time spending with a player. I think players should take responsibility, and they are old enough to do it, to follow the philosophy that we have, the principles that we have by themselves. And of course, they're not going to play by themselves. There's always going to be a friend there or a fitness coach there or father or mother. There's always someone to support. But there is no need that coach be in the box every single tournament. And I think it's very healthy to have two coaches to have another voice also, especially if this coach is Pam Shriver or someone as experienced as her. I think for me, having a legend in a team, it's different. It's a different level, and she really did help us a lot. Especially, sorry, I'm talking too much and I'm asking questions myself, but I think it's interesting because when, for example, Wimbledon round of 16 comes and Pam comes in the morning, she asked me, so what should we do? What should I do? And I said, Pam, nothing. Just be here. Show your attitude, show your confidence that you believe that Donna can win today, because the person that can do this the most is you, because for you, round of 16 of Wimbledon is a normal day. For me, it's not. And the only person who can tell her, like, hey, let's do it, is you. And that's every. You don't need to do anything else. Leave everything else to me. I'll do the cosmetics. But you just say, hey, let's do it. You can win. So that kind of experience that person has, I think it's a priceless.
I think it is certainly the trend, isn't it, Nick? And I think obviously having a major champion in Pam Shriver alongside is fantastic, but also the coaching sharing idea probably will bring more women onto the tour, perhaps, because I think having spoken with a lot of women, I'm actually in a performance group trying to get more women involved in the top of tennis as coaches. Will really help, not having to do the 40 weeks a year. 20, I think, is doable. It's tricky, but doable. So I think you're right. It's a nice thing, and the player gets to listen to different voices as well. We've spoken a little bit about the Wimbledon Championship, and I actually met Pam Shriver for the first time there this year. She was there with her daughter, and just seemed like a very nice, relaxed figure, very confident, and very much believing in Donna. It's a lovely story about how they got together in that talk in San Diego. I think it was 2022. But I'd love to know more about the Olympics where Donna reached the final, because you said that the semi-finals of Wimbledon was an achievement for both of you. Well, the final of the Olympics, where you're both representing your country, that must have been out of this world.
That really was. Yeah, when I was talking about my feelings in Wimbledon box, actually, I was thinking about, it actually about the Olympics also. And it was, after the match, we came into Olympics with not a big expectations, because Donna was, the little bit feverish, sick, not really the fittest at the moment after Wimbledon. And we were planning to, our goal was to play mixed doubles and maybe try to win a medal. The clay court is not her favorite surface, and many circumstances. But then when she won against Coco Gauff, the third round match, I was like, okay, this is not bad. And then there was a match against Marta Kostyuk that changed everything. And then after, like, it woke me up in most extreme terms, because the match was probably the most not exciting is the wrong word, but the closest, the toughest match of this year, probably top 3 that any ladies match played. It was so much up and down. It was just unbelievable. And the specific of Olympics is, especially in my country, which is a small country that loves sport, and especially tennis. We have a long tradition in tennis in Croatia, a lot of success. And when people, the people that were watching Wimbledon semifinal is maybe, let's put the number, let's say a 10. But the people that were watching Olympics is 10 times higher, because grandmothers, average people that normally don't follow tennis, they watch Olympics, right? Because it's every 4 years, it's so big. And then when someone on Olympics plays a sport that, okay, every sport is great, we watch every sport, but somehow tennis, people like tennis to watch in general. So everyone was watching these quarterfinals. And then amount of, like, first of all, after the quarterfinals, I went down to the Chatrier court when Donna was having interviews. And in 15 minutes after the match against Kostyuk, the court was completely empty. It was a surreal experience for me. It was like so quiet, no one, not a word, only the cleaning ladies and me in the court. The net was down, and I was doing circles around, just walking. I didn't even touch my phone. My phone was vibrating in my pocket like it never did before. I was walking around the Chatrier, like on the clay, and thinking, come on, is this really happening? Tomorrow, we have a chance to win Olympic medal. And when I was on the opening ceremony of this Olympics, I was thinking, how proud am I to be here? And I was thinking that I was calling my mom on the video for, like, on this ceremony and being in the rain. It was unbelievable experience. I was thinking at that moment, imagine how it's for them who actually win a medal here. And then doing those circles around the Kshatriya court, I was thinking, come on, tomorrow Donna is playing for a medal in Olympic Games. I cannot, not that I cannot sleep, I cannot believe this. You know, this was surreal experience. And when I opened my messenger, I mean, I never received so many messages in my life. And then tomorrow I had to prepare her for, you know, the biggest challenge of her life, to compete against a player that she was a favorite in. She was really a favorite in that semifinal. So she couldn't miss that chance. And I knew, now I'm almost crying, I knew she won't miss that chance. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's.
Oh, there we go, Nick. Sorry, I lost you at the end. That is just a wonderful story, really emotional. I think I actually commentated on Donna's match against Coco, I remember, and I was actually thinking to myself, given what Donna has done this year, she could go all the way here. I remember thinking that in my head. That was just a very, very good victory. Of course, there was some controversy in it as well. It made it very dramatic, very exciting, and Donna just kept her head using all her incredible experience. So well done to you. And you've recently been credited, haven't you, by Croatia? You got a Coach of the Year award. That must have been something very, very prestigious and close to your heart.
Yeah, it really was, because, you know, getting recognized from your peers and colleagues in your country is something special. And, you know, as soon as I heard that I won the award, I knew it's going to be emotional, and it was. You know, all of my friends were there, and my wife was there, and, you know, Donna, obviously, and her parents, and all the coaches that I was working with when I was, you know, starting coaching were in the stands. And, you know, the award is not, it's been going on for maybe 3 years. It's a new thing that they are doing. And, you know, the last year, the Goran Ivanišević won the award, which is my idol, everyone's idol in Croatia in tennis. So, and now I'm there, you know, doing a speech. It was really emotional. I pulled out a speech somehow. I don't know how, but I did it, and it was kind of good. So I made a picture with Donna, and it was, I mean, it's all just, you know, like a dream. I will obviously, I'm in the middle of process of building a house now, and I will build one room where I will put all these pictures to remember, and to my kids, for my kids to see what you know, not only, you know, I'm always thinking about, is it, you know, how much my ego is involved in all these awards and showing this, but, you know, I just want my kids to see that I worked hard for something in my life, and that hard work and dedication, sometimes, or not sometimes, but like, if you really commit to something, there is a big chance that something will happen, something good will happen, and which just did to me. I have to continue talking by saying, it's also a little bit scary experience, because, you know, when Donna won that match in semifinals, I went back down again on Kshatriya, walking the same route, and I was like, okay, this is it. So we have a silver medal. Whatever happens in the next match, you know, we did it. And you know, it was a little bit scary experience, because you know, dreaming about it for 30 years. And now, all of a sudden, I didn't expect it. In 1 week, it happened. And I was like, okay, is this it? And I felt the same on this award-winning ceremony. Is this it? Maybe that's the success of my life. And there is nothing more. So it's kind of, you know, it's great, but it's kind of scary, because you know, not that I want more, but everyone wants more. But, you know, I need to find now a new way of, you know, of a goal of setting up what's next for me, because in a way, yes, I did it. So and I don't want to stop here. So it's a mixed feeling, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
I totally understand, because I think you're a very ambitious man. You wouldn't have got to this part of your life without doing so, and all the success that you have had. And I'm so grateful, Nick, that you have jumped on to Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach. It's been absolutely fascinating listening to you. I think I could sit here and listen to you all day. And I hope that we do get that opportunity at a tournament in the near future when your kids are a little bit older. I would love to sit down and just keep asking you questions. And we'd also love to have you back on Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach, because I feel like there's a lot that we haven't gone into, but I have taken up, well, about an hour of your time. So for that, I'm truly, truly grateful. And I wish you and your family all the best of luck. I can't wait to share this with the world, because I think you've given us so many learnings, so many interesting stories. And I just wish you all the best, and we'll have you back, because we need to know, firstly, the name of Donna's new coach that you have helped her with, but also the name of your book. And we want to know how well your book is selling. I'm sure it will be fascinating.
Well, Candy, thank you so much. This is probably the best compliment I've ever got. I don't know the grammar, I've ever got. That you liked what I said, and that you like listening to me. It's really, like I said, I'm not a speaker. I'm more of a writer. But when someone is that, curious and that nice as you, it was really a pleasure to share my thoughts with you. And I appreciate the compliments, and I'm looking forward for the next talk, either live in London, next Wimbledon. I'm going to be there, or maybe next podcast.
I will definitely hold you to that. Then we'll have you on again, and I will sit you down at Wimbledon, and we'll have a really long chat. Nick Horvat, thank you very much, and congratulations on such a terrific season. And again, good luck with the birth of the twins. Good luck with little Leo. He's going to have 2 new siblings, and I hope everyone gets on.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.